The girl puts those thoughts aside and returns to the aircraft. The mission does not end with taking the culprits into custody. In truth, along with defusing the situation, securing the safety of one particular passenger was her highest priority. The fact was not revealed to the SAT team. The passenger was originally seated in first class, but would have been forced to move. The girl looks carefully and through the restless passengers. It's not long before she finds the face she seeks. Looking relieved, the girl walks towards the passenger.
Are you all right, Mitsuru-san?
Aigis. I didn't think you'd be the one to come.
The woman who answers has long, shining hair that would make an impression on anyone. Her refined appearance makes her stand out, over and above her calm position in the seat. But Aigis knows the woman well.
I was surprised to be called on to deal with something like this. The suspects made no demands. What were they after? At first, I thought I was summoned because you were their target, Mitsuru-san.
The higher-ups must have thought the same thing and panicked, especially considering there's cargo on that plane they wouldn't want made public. Wait a second, that cargo...
Is something wrong?
This hijack seems strange now that I think about it. They made their move before takeoff, which is odd timing, and they forced the boarding announcement to be stopped. I thought maybe it was their way of trying to pull it off with a small team.
Are you saying that rather than a passenger, they were after that cargo? It's true that no one would consider the unloaded luggage during a hijacking.
I guess I need you to check on my things. Though if I'm right, it's already too late.
In response, Aigis sent her team via radio to secure all luggage transportation routes. Moreover, she requests a search to ensure that no cargo has been taken.
Even if you're right, why would they be interested in your belongings?
My usual cargo wouldn't be worth hijacking a plane over. But I was carrying something sensitive this time. Normally, if they wanted it, they'd have to bypass a Kirijo facility's security or attack the vehicle transporting it. But by doing it this way, they can divert the entire country's attention with a few model guns.
Mitsuru smiles. Aigis can tell that she's impressed with the audacity despite herself.
Mitsuru-san's cargo. Sensitive belongings for a vacation. I understand. Hijacking a plane out of a desperate desire for undergarments. This incident will surely go down in history.
Mitsuru's eyes bulge at the unexpected comment.
You're jumping to conclusions. It's not sensitive in that way. Besides, my underwear is in this bag and...
Mitsuru, just stop talking.
That's it. Enough about underwear.
She forces a cough and steers the conversation back on track.
More accurately, my cargo contained items from Ergo Research. My trip to Kagoshima was partly vacation, but also to oversee their transferal to Yakushima.
You see, this is the problem when Aigis hung out with Junpei and Okiro or his Minato and Akihiko, although mostly Junpei. She just sees that, any males involved in bad things are immediately after underwear and things inside them. The official name of Ergo Research is the Kirijo Economics Research Labs. Both Mitsuru and Aigis have made bitter memories associated with the name. A paw hangs in the air, but a radio transmission from one of Aigis' team cuts the moment short.
Aigis speaking. I see. Understood.
Mitsuru looks at Aigis questioningly, and she
It's as
nods.
you suspected. They found that one of the boxes scheduled for transport has gone missing.
I thought as much.
With a small sigh, Mitsuru rises from her seat.
We must get it back, I guess. The rest of the team can finish up here. I need you to come with me.
Aigis inspects Mitsuru's face
Will
carefully.
you be joining the search as well?
Well, I am personally involved, so yes.
In other words, you will officially rejoin the unit and participate in this mission. To be more direct, is it accurate to say that you are abandoning your vacation?
Mitsuru sighs with some exhaustion. Aigis interprets her silence as approval.
Then I hereby transfer command authority to you, Mitsuru-san. Regulations state that the member with the lowest serial number is to take command. And since you are member number 1, the official leader of the security department Shadow Response
Okay,
Unit,
Aigis.
also called
Mitsuru is
the
quite
Shadow
aware
Response
of her position in the group.
I had a feeling I wouldn't be able to enjoy this vacation for long.
Traveling with cargo from Ergo Research suggests that her vacation was neither relaxing nor
But
cheerful.
I can't allow anyone to be hurt again by the things we, the Kirijo group, created. We'll get this cargo back at all costs. Mission or no mission, I'm making it a personal priority.
Understood.
Aigis answers loudly and snaps off a police salute report that she's finally gotten the hang of. Police salute? Wow, not a report. I am Aigis. My official name is the 7th generation anti-shadow suppression weapon, Aigis. As my name implies, I am not human. I am a humanoid weapon, a robot, essentially. Though with the right clothes, a surprising number of people cannot tell the difference. I was created in a research lab owned by one of the world's foremost conglomerates, the Kurosawa Group. I was made to exterminate a certain enemy. That enemy, as you may be able to tell from Shadow Extermination Weapon, they are called shadows, monsters born from people's repressed emotions, granted a dark life. Shadows can only be defeated by those with the special power of personas. One's persona can be said to be the power to wield the shadow within. They are two sides of the same coin, though one cannot have a persona if they do not also have a heart. I was given a mind to artificially develop a persona, and a body close to that of a human so that that mind could attain a personality. A heart designed for battle. A body designed for battle. I did endure some suffering because of my original purpose, but now have a place where I belong. Somewhere I can make a full, beneficial use of my powers. That is the Security Department, Shadow Response Unit. Our nickname is the Shadow Operatives. The Shadow Operatives were formed at Mitsuru Kurijo's directive. She is the scion of the Kurijo group who created me. She has taken responsibility for shadows. Our objective is to identify and resolve incidents involving shadows by eliminating them. All of our members are persona users or have similar qualifications. During operations, our guidelines state the member with the smallest number has command. The number I was issued is number 5. Though I am not human, I am treated as a member and not a piece of equipment. Moreover, my number is in the single digits. It's possible there will be missions like today where I must take command of a dangerous operations. In other words, I am recognized as having the same life and dignity as humans. Because Mitsuru-san and the others have such trust in me, I want to repay that trust with results. And that's interesting. Who are the 4 people that have authority over Aigis? Obviously Mitsuru is one of them. I'm guessing probably some really key figures of Persona 1 and 2 will be in there as well. But I don't know who they are because I've never played 1 or 2. And I don't think they give Junpei authority. Akihiko probably has authority over her. I'm guessing. I doubt Junpei does. Junpei does not handle responsibility well. There is another reason I am working hardest on this case. Soon after the hijacking was resolved, the stolen cargo was identified. Its content surprised me. A 5th generation anti-shadow suppression weapon. The unit named Labris. She is one of my sister units. She was sealed over a decade ago for some reason and has been in storage with other artifacts since then. Labris, a humanoid weapon, just like me. It is possible that she has a heart. I'd say it's probable that she has a heart. Humanoid weapons don't work without them because they can't develop personas. If so, I want to save her before she is misused. This is a mission, but more than that, I feel that it is a duty I must carry out. Yeah, pretty much, Ajidine. That's one of the reasons some people tell me that the Persona 4 guy was stronger than the Persona 3 guy, and I'm like, no. Some god just came around and said, here. And then, what is his... And then Margaret gave him wildcard just because, hey, main character Persona need to have a wildcard. Whee! So, yeah. Where Persona 3 guy actually, it made sense. Anyway, the next day, May 2nd, 2012. We wanted to pursue the vehicle carrying Labris as soon as the hijacking is over, but it's complicated track made it hard to track. Its complicated route made it hard to track. Yeah, I've never seen that, and I refuse to look it up. New York. Or New York. Due to the sensitive nature of the cargo, it is difficult to set up large-scale traffic checkpoints. Fortunately, the license plate number was determined quickly, and we got a rough estimate of its destination. Not to mention New York, Persona Minato did have more personas at his command than you did. If you actually maxed them out, there was more potential within Minato. And I have unfortunately gotten used to calling Minato not Akiro, even though I heart Akiro forever. Our headquarters was moved to a police facility. Mitsuru-san and our team are sorting out the situation to plan for an operation.
And the interrogation of the suspects?
It's begun, but all of them are claiming that their memories at the time are very foggy, so they've been sent in for evaluation. The psychologists who interviewed them think it's possible they're not lying.
So none of the 5 have any memories of what happened during the hijacking.
Normally that would seem preposterous. There may have been some hypnotic effect, but even then...
We're dealing with someone after materials from Ergo research. They'll likely be very well informed about shadows and the mind. Knowing that, it doesn't seem so strange. It would also explain the extreme lengths they went to create a decoy. What else do we know?
Another team member answers Mitsuru-san's questions.
Since the cage storing the 5th generation is too large to transport by personal auto, we narrowed our search to large vehicles that left the airport. That, combined with the testimony from our observer and data from the transmitter, allowed us to pinpoint the vehicle in question. The police are already pursuing it via the N system. This is the most recent photo.
He hands the tablet to
Inaba
Mitsuru-san.
area. Wasn't this the place where...
Yes, our routine investigation last year rated the potential shadow activity in the area at level 4.
It seems the culprit in the case definitely had prior knowledge of shadows after all. If that is true, we must use extra caution. Many people do not know about shadows, though they are enough of a threat to possibly destroy the world. And I've just got to say, listening to myself reading this, I just cannot help the idea that GLaDOS is fighting shadows, and it's just really weird in my head. Then again, I experienced that for myself 3 years ago. If somebody is trying to manipulate them, we must prevent it at all costs.
Let's talk about the stolen 5th generation unit. Aigis, as the 7th generation, would be her younger sister.
A sister. My older sister.
I'd like to know why she was sealed.
5th generation anti-shadow suppression weapon, Labris. The records show her to be the first model fitted with an artificial personality.
In other words, she has a heart?
There's no knowing if it was developed enough to call it that. She seems to have been made to gather test data rather than actual field use.
What are her combat capabilities?
She wasn't given firearms, since her regulatory system was inadequate. So she was instead loaded with some kind of special equipment.
Christian, what you've missed so far is that assuming you've actually watched and kind of know the plot line, Aigis went in and stormed the airplane, and then captured captured 3 of the 5 of the hijackers, and the shadow operatives captured the other 2. And yeah, Yu Narukami is not anywhere near as awesome as Minato is. Minato is the man.
Unfortunately, the majority of the records pertaining to her are missing, which means that's the extent of our knowledge.
Special equipment.
We also don't know why she was sealed. Many of the documents regarding the old Ergo research were lost, probably to cover up incriminating evidence. We don't even know what she looks like. All we do know is that she was a life-sized android.
What exactly is a life-sized android? Is anything that exists in real life is life-sized?
We'll just have to find out along the way.
Mitsuru-san swipes her finger across the tablet a few times to show it to
I'll
an
need
aide.
these 3 individuals' cooperations. I'd like to join them in the field.
3 individuals?
Are you sure about this?
Try not to make a scene when fetching them. Not all of them are part of our organization.
Oh, who in the world is this then? The aide nods his assent and returns to his station. Mitsuru-san then returns her gaze on me.
And Aigis, frankly, I think we can assume that there'll be combat involved. Will you be all right with that?
Though Mitsuru-san does not say it out loud, I understand what she means. Our highest priority in this operation is to stop the culprit and mitigate any associated damage. Not to rescue Labrys. Of course, we will strive to accomplish both, but in the worst-case scenario, we must consider the option of destroying Labrys. Destroying a sister unit. It will be a painful experience if she, too, has a heart.
I thank you for your concern, but I'll be fine. I will do my duty.
Mitsuru-san says nothing more and
Well,
silently nods.
Once we can confirm our target is headed to Inaba, we'll depart at once.
Oh, oops. I expected them to keep talking. I was overlooking at chat. Dang it. May 3rd, 2012. As we get ready to depart for Inaba, Mitsuru-san and I go over the last-minute details inside the police station. Mitsuru-san is absorbed with the issues of instructions over to a cell phone she is hijacking. Or, oops, probably not hijacking. I bet that's not the word that was. Pessimism seeps into my heart as I wait. I begin muttering to myself.
Will we be able to find Labrys? My sister?
Mitsuru-san's surprised voice makes me realize how unlike me
Will
these
we
doubts
be
are.
able to save her? Isn't that what you really want to ask? Don't worry. As I mentioned to Akihiko, fighting Labrys is not our priority. The reason I formed this shadow operative team is to save lives. We will find her, whatever it takes, and bring her back. We can do this.
Yes. I'm sorry to be so pessimistic.
Those feelings you have for Labrys, you should tell her when you see her.
I will.
Friends bound by trust are irreplaceable indeed. I hope that Labrys will become one as well. Eventually, the preparations are made and our limousine departs on its journey to Inaba. That evening, we are in Inaba now, traveling down a midtown street. Though it is called Midtown, it is very different from an urban environment. It is quiet, rustic road. The vehicle we are targeting is easily discovered. The transmitter was attached to it when we had left the airport is, luckily for us, still active. And how come Naoto hasn't gotten any props for attaching that? But the vehicle has been abandoned, and the cargo is gone as well. To trace it further, we must learn why the culprit came here. Specifically, we need to know the details of what happened here last year. Though in this was already assumed, so we have a plan. Mitsuru-san orders the driver to park nearby. However, this poses an unexpected problem. Our vehicle is a long, black, 8-door limousine. It stands out badly in the countryside town, no matter where it's parked.
Mitsuru-san, our activities are supposed to be undercover, correct?
Yes.
For undercover missions, it will be necessary to keep all personnel and vehicles from being noticed.
Right.
Mitsuru-san, may I say something that I've been meaning to say for a while now?
No.
Understood.
All I told them was to give us a car with enough space.
Wherever we go, people peer into windows out of curiosity. We avoid the public eye as much as possible, and finally park in what looks to be a site for vehicle disposal in the outskirts of town.
Our contact has arrived.
I then notice a middle-aged man in a gray suit standing outside the window. I recognize his face. He is one of the 3 collaborators Mitsuru-san contacted before our departure. So Officer Kujikawa is one, Akihiko is the other. Who in the world is the third? I scoot over to the door and open the window.
This was not our designated meeting area, yet he has discovered us.
Suddenly, something not unlike astonishment or discouragement appears on his face.
You want to know how I did it?
A cough
We
interrupts
appreciate your
us.
cooperation, Detective Kurosawa.
Mitsuru-san gets out of the vehicle and slightly bows. 3 years ago, when we were still fighting shadows in secret, Detective Kurosawa worked as a police officer at a nearby police box. He believed that our intentions were good, and he supplied us with certain conveniences under the table. And my real question is, what would happen if... Kanji, Akihiko, Junpei, and wow. If it was just Kanji Nakahiko, then I'm pretty sure that all shadows within a 100-mile radius would just spontaneously die. His job made this risky, but he always acted on behalf of what he believed to be just. He said this many times while supporting us in secret. He's a strong man who always acts on his beliefs. But now our organization has official government sanction. He can now cooperate with us without being considered a rebellious act. Kurosawa's prior actions have recently been reassessed. He was promoted for his special expertise. I have heard that he is now a plainclothes detective working in the Central Precinct.
Long time no see, miss. And Aigis, was it?
Indeed. It has been a while.
Kurosawa fixes his eyes on Mitsuru-san and me. It is faintly awkward. We are dressed for combat and not wearing clothes that camouflage my nature.
Sorry for staring. A humanoid weapon. I was skeptical when I heard, but seeing you in person doesn't leave any room for doubt.
I'm sorry that I kept it hidden back then.
It's all right. It would have caused more of a headache if you'd gone around looking like that.
Hearing him say that, I cannot help but
Seeing
smile.
you laugh like that makes it harder to believe you're a machine.
I shouldn't make you stand while we talk. Please, get in.
Sorry. I haven't seen you in a while, so I had a lot to say.
Mitsuru-san asked Kurosawa-san to collect information on the serial murder case that occurred in this town last year. When background research was carried out across Japan at the end of 2011, this region returned to high numbers in shadow detection measurements. But although it was investigated, there was no effects apart from slightly unnatural weather. Then again, what if something did happen and was just hard to detect? Mitsuru-san suspects the serial murder case was related to those shadows, and asked Kurosawa-san to have the local police force share their reports. We could have requested them directly, but what we wanted would not be service information found in the investigation records. There are limits to what unofficial unit cloaked with authority can do without a direct request.
I found out quite a bit regarding the case you had me look into. First, I reviewed the report on the incidents from last year. One of the suspects mentioned the word persona.
I lock gazes with Mitsuru-san.
So what went on here last year?
It's probably related, but I wasn't done there. Parts of this guy's testimony were even more outlandish. If you can take what's in the record at face value, it seems persona users can enter TVs within the Inaba region.
Enter TVs? What does that mean?
Just what it sounds like. You physically stick your body into the screen and go inside. He claimed there was another world in the TV, and dropping people inside it was the method behind last year's murders.
This all sounds rather absurd. I'm surprised it was included in the police report.
I got in touch with the detective in charge at the time and said the same thing. Apparently the report was filed by a young partner of his at the time. He'd entertained the wildest testimonies like this one.
He sounds like quite the oddball.
If this was what really went on, the police would have had no chance cracking it. But that Detective Dojima is one shrewd guy. Even with all the supernatural hocus-pocus surrounding the case, he caught the culprit.
Kurosawa-san sighs. He seems to be
That's all I have
tired.
for you right now. I should be going. I doubt either of us has time to reminisce over the old days. It's funny, though. I thought the fighting was over, but you guys surprise me every time I see you.
Thank you very much, Officer Kurosawa. Why don't we at least see you off?
Oh, that's all right. I've got my own car. I doubt my department would appreciate your tastes. If I ever showed up for work in something like this, I'd be the talk of the force until the day I retired.
He opens the door himself and exits the vehicle. He gives a short farewell and leaves without turning back even once.
Mitsuru-san, this could be bad. Our sense of social aptitude is in question.
Can't deny that.
What should we do now?
That's harder.
First, we'll need to test the claim that persona users can enter TVs.
Hearing this reminds me of something. Looking around the area again, although I had called it a vehicle disposal site, there are household electronics such as refrigerators discarded here. In the corner is a stack of TVs.
There is a discarded TV over there. If the environment does not matter, we can use it to test the phenomenon.
Wait, Aigis.
Don't worry. I'm just going to touch it.
I extend my right hand and touch the screen of the biggest TV I can see. My fingers brush the glass screen. But although I seem to be touching it, I feel no resistance from its surface. I push my hand forward a little more. A weak light runs across the screen as my forearm sinks into it. Rings of light spread from the contact of my arm, rippling like water across a pond.
Interesting. It's exactly as the police report said. What's it like inside? Do you feel anything?
Not particularly. No. Wait a moment.
My sensor detects a sensation I have never felt before. But the knowledge of what it is already recorded within me.
It's the same as mine. It's hard to say definitively since this is my first encounter with it, but I believe this reading is from a personality module.
Does that mean our retrieval target is inside the TV?
Huh. Sounds like fun.
I hear a voice come from an unexpected direction. Mitsuru-san and I look towards it. What we see is a silhouette wearing a low hood that covers his eyes and a tattered cape billowing in the wind, like a figure from a western. He is standing atop a mountain of trash with his arms crossed.
Is that Akihiko?
He jumps down nimbly and walks towards us.
You didn't show up at the rendezvous point, so I went looking and found you here. This whole TV thing is pretty interesting.
I would never forget the man laughing so fearlessly. Like Mitsuru-san, he is a friend I once fought alongside, Akihiko Sanada. He was the student boxing champion in his school days, and a staunch ally, powerful even without his persona. He is also our second collaborator on this case.
It's been a while, Akihiko-san.
Yeah, good seeing you.
Akihiko, what on earth are you wearing? Just what were you doing overseas?
Didn't I tell you that I was on a training expedition?
Don't tell me you came here from the airport like that. Does the concept of keeping a low profile mean nothing to you?
Mitsuru-san, I believe we have lost the right to complain about that.
Mitsuru-san sighs in annoyance. Oh yes, Akihiko was on a training expedition overseas until this morning. As a result, his appearance is very different from the last time we saw him. But his aggressive personality and love of a challenge seems to be the same as always. He gives a cocky smile and smacks his palm with his fist.
Anyway, we can get inside from that TV, right? And what are we waiting for?
Still the same Akihiko. We don't know the situation inside yet, and we'll need a secure means of getting out.
So what? If we want to get this Labrys back, someone has to go inside, right?
Well, that's...
Our target hijacked a plane to throw her into a TV in this town. If we sit on our hands, it's possible we'll be put in serious danger.
Akihiko-san steps forward towards Mitsuru-san
We're
as if
different
pressing
from how
her.
we used to be. We made the choice to fight shadows as professionals. That's why I traveled around the world and trained harder than ever. And now that something's actually come up, you're hesitating? We agreed to do this. I'm ready to stake my life on the mission.
Akihiko-san's opinion is a bit strong, but he is not incorrect. It's probable that Akihiko-san understands that being slightly forceful is his role. Because Mitsuru-san takes caution seriously as the ultimate authority on this case, she frequently second-guesses herself. I have seen Akihiko-san's words cut through her hesitation in the past. It shows trust in Mitsuru-san not to make decisions in error.
All right. Wait right here. I need to go make a phone call first.
Okay, but make it quick.
Now, when we did Mitsuru's mission, we never found out what his phone call was, did we? That seems rude.
The other members will wait here in the car.
Yeah. If we all barge in and something happens, they'll be devastated.
Now that you mention it, at least one of us should be staying behind as well.
I am not staying.
Us three will be plenty. We'll end this in a flash. No problem.
The same as always. Although... We have no idea what might be waiting for us on the other side. Don't get careless.
Right.
This situation... it brings back memories.
Ready!
Why enter the TV? What's going on?